Marketing to me is the first place to look at, because when you think of the funnel of business coming in, you got to look at sales that happen when people come in, and the sales that happen with that, and then operations that helps maneuver it. Eventually, it gets to processing a product of the case, which is work product, which reality is the most important part. You have to have great customer care and service, because that's what people are buying into or buying. But as a business, you got to lay the groundwork for all of these things. So marketing has been really important. It's a really fun thing. You've always heard me talking about it. You've probably seen tons of my videos that happen on it. So I want to expand that in various ways. There's online marketing. This is primarily what I do. There's what I was doing. I know going to operations, a little bit tidbit in the next phase I'm talking about. I'm doing a annual business plan, which every day essentially I look at, revamp. I do monthly and quarterly reports. Not just January, it just started. The goal is to do this every month. But looking at, I did a practice one in December and a monthly report now in January. It's just finished, even though January is not finished when I'm recording this. And in that January, I broke down in the December one where my cases are coming from. There's a good amount of cases from referrals from other attorneys and from in-person stuff I did. So it's not all marketing necessarily on social media. For me, the toolbox and the communication, I have a lot of immigration attorneys across the world. That brings in a lot of cases too. So that's, I guess, the social media marketing as well. But it really is to increase that. Think about doing paid ads. I'm not sure how well paid ads work. And the reason, this is behind the scenes, but I'll share with you. I started a nonprofit foundation, which is kind of lingering. I'm not getting to it. But as part of that nonprofit foundation, I get thousands of dollars in free ad spend and money to do advertising to help people. And so I've spent every month. I spend like $5,000 that are the nonprofit spends on Google Ads. And of all the main keywords, this and that, and 99% of the stuff we get are like, hey, how do I come to America? How much does it cost? How much is a green card? So I don't know. Maybe I'm just not doing the Google Ads right. Maybe I need an expert to do it. But it seems like paying for it is kind of junk. I like having people research it and find me on YouTube and analyze it, and then realize, oh, it's too complicated. I just want to hire the lawyer who seems really competent, and then come to me. So that's my thought on paid ads. But it's really to increase the types of things we're doing and get more team members involved. So I'm not only on screen. So as we hire more and more associates, get them more involved in recording and talking on screen, so that I could then go behind the scenes. Because the next level, I pump out a lot of content every day. I could pump out a dozen stuff a day. But if I pump out easy content, it doesn't hit as hard. If I spend more time thinking about the specific piece of content I'm doing, it'll go much farther. It just takes more time to think about it, which I don't have, but I'm getting that time. And doing things like, if I do a video, if you go on YouTube, when you do the analytics, you see where people start dropping off your video. And so I got to go check that, see what I'm saying that's causing people to drop off. For example, when you start a video, I can start and say, hi, I'm immigration lawyer John Khosravi. My office is in Los Angeles, California. We have teams in Orange County and Washington State, Washington, D.C. and Virginia. That's all of a sudden like 10 seconds. The average person is going to tune out. It's like, oh, this is annoying. This guy's just advertising himself. I got to start with, are you afraid that your marriage green card case is going to fail because you don't have bona fides? We're going to talk about today. And that's the hook, scaring people into listening to what the rest of your stuff is. And that's a process that, in some passes I know to do, I forget to do. I know it's cheesy to me to do that, but that's what works. And then how your thumbnail looks, how your title looks. You have to think about all this stuff. And you can have a social media team that does it. But what I found is when I interviewed people hired to do this kind of stuff, they're always very generic. They never give any specific stuff. I didn't develop confidence in them, and they wanted, $5,000 or $10,000 a month. And I'm like, not really. But then again, maybe it's worth it with the business that comes if you hire someone good. On the other end, sneak peek the operations. If we had a hit and we got a ton of cases, I'm not operationally capable of handling all of a sudden quadrupling my caseload right now. So everything would be a mess anyway. So I don't mind slowly growing all along altogether. So one thing I'm doing for marketing is to be more consistent, because I did a bunch in December, which actually paid off. I had a TikTok video that hit 1.4 million. All of a sudden got a bunch of people contacting us, most of it nonsense, but some good stuff there. But having consistency there in YouTube and what we do. So I developed a calendar for each day of this year, and it's so much work. Frankly, I only did the first 7 days of February, but it's that overtime plan it out. So every day I know when I wake up, this is the recording I'm doing. This is what about. This is the topic for this month. This is the focus for this month. February is Black History Month. Let's talk about every other day. I have a TikTok about a famous Black immigrant that came in and how help that could be attention there. There's a day on the Grammys are happening. Let's talk about O1s and how foreign people come to to the Grammys and win awards, and how that could help at EB1A, or like different things that you take about local events. There's dozens of this kind of stuff, or hundreds of you could do so, or infinite really. So it's planning this stuff out. But now that I have a team helping with the legal work, it opens me up to think about this, and also tracking, which is the other half of marketing, which is sales. Having systems, because I get a lot of leads. I get 10 to 30 leads a day, and I just like answer them quickly. Last iteration of expanding operations was having a system where I auto respond, where like I just send an email reply to everybody the same. But it's kind of tracking like, well, we got like, I was doing last week, we had 10 marriage cases that were good cases that they didn't sign consultations. Let me follow up with them now, because I kept track of who the people were, and say, hey, why didn't you sign up? Or hey, let's have a group chat, or come this 15-minute chat, or kind of follow up to close that deal in terms of the sales. To not let the case just go away that easily, and have different plans of following up with people we have a consultation with really quickly afterwards, so they don't linger. And so different kinds of things to think about on the marketing and sales aspect, which I have the time to think about now, which should be a big focus of what I'm doing.